We're starting game 2 of the Telkom DoGaming Starcraft 2 Championship Finals. I got it right this time. And we're on Shakuras Plateau.
Awesome. We got a Shakuras Plateau choice of the loser, who was Pandatank in the first game. He pushed off Shase's 4-gate very well, but unfortunately, after expanding, the second pressure from Shase came very early with the Colossus, and he just couldn't keep it together.
Yeah, it was actually a classic PvP, if you ask me, and it's a classic of Shase to get those Colossus as fast as he possibly can. He didn't even bother trying to expand, nothing like that. He knew exactly what he wanted and he went for it. So, you want to take us away on Shakuras Plateau?
No worries. Okay, so all we know that this map actually has some spawn restrictions. We got Pandatank spawning as the green Protoss on the right at the top, and Shase spawning on the other side of the map as he is supposed to as the blue Protoss. So we might, if this game stretches out a bit, see use of this back entrance, but again, PvP, very aggressive, very strong. You hardly see top players playing defensively unless they've got a weird two-base mothership or something like that. And even then, they get pushed quite hard.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
I don't know, locally I think we've seen a couple of fast expand builds being used quite often, especially on maps like this. But as you say, in PvP, it's not always the best thing to do because that 4-gate does pretty much trump all the others if you're not ready for it.
No, most definitely. A fast expand is on this map, it might actually work because you have one ramp and you could put down a forge and some cannons instead of units, but it is very unnecessary, I think is the right word. You don't need to fast expand in a PvP. You don't need to expand that fast with the income. You've got a lot of options early game.
So minor differences here in their builds. Shase going for 12-gate, Pandatank 13. Shase is maybe going to throw down that second customary gateway that he usually does. I think he does it just after his gas. Pretty much standard so far.
Indeed. Okay, a little bit of lag. That might just be Nick updating the stream. We'll see. We actually saw Shase once again just making sure his opponent isn't doing anything tricky by scanning the whole of his perimeter of his base before pushing out with that probe to scout. Now both players have found each other, and we can see a second gate for Travis, actually not a cyber core, a second gateway. So this cyber core is going to be a little bit later. I think we're going to see a strong stalker push by Travis.
It generally tries to hold off that first zealot because it tends to be a waste of minerals early game. You don't need them to tank if it's just 1 or 2 stalkers against 1 or 2 stalkers, and if you have 1 zealot and 1 stalker against 2 stalkers, then it's pretty clear who's going to win. So Shase, that build of Shase actually, in my opinion, quite strong.
Very strong indeed. As I said earlier, there is that slight gap at the start where a 2-gate beats a 4-gate before your production actually comes into effect because it's come out slightly earlier. Some
manor gas stealing here. Shase taking Pandatank's gas, but at the same time taking his own gas as well. So that's not going to be such a huge thing. But once again, as I said in the previous game, it's going to funnel his opponent's choices.
Just a little bit. I'm a little bit surprised as well that Travis is doing this. In high-level play in general, you don't see people stealing gas as such. Back in the day, you did it. Maybe you do it against the Terran just to try and stop the early Banshee or something. In the PvP, early gas, it forces your opponent into a slight. It's not that big a deal.
No, what I think the biggest thing that
it cuts the Stargate basically.
Yeah, the biggest thing that he gleans from it, I think, is the fact that he can see how much his Pandatank is chrono boosting the cyber core. But I think he should have expected that. He's got a little bit of scouting that he gets there, and I suppose, as I said, he probably knows he can beat Pandatank with micro-wise. Maybe I can't really say macro-wise, but micro-wise in a 4-gate versus 4-gate fight. So he wants to force the game to go the way he wants it to go. So I think it's clever on the whole.
True.
Yeah.
Travis definitely a player who plays to win, not the kind of guy just to mess around for nothing.
Definitely.
Which is something I can really respect. I mean, I hated Travis for years, but the fact that he puts his heart into it to win. He's not just here to play some games. It's awesome. Someone to say that's great.
And it's, as you say in that, I mean, you have to do more than just sort of mess around if something like 6,000 rands on the line. So these guys are playing for some big stakes, and this is going to be really.
We should actually say that again, guys. We haven't actually announced the prizes.
Oh, please
Sven
do
said
say
now. Okay, so get this straight. There was I think about 40,000 put up for the championships, and I think about half or so got split. A little bit more than half got split for the Starcraft 2. So the winner of tonight gets 6,000 rand in cash from Telkom. So not 100, not 500, 6,000. This is
That's
like a salary for most people.
It's crazy. If anyone does watch the VODs of this, that'll probably equate to around $450.
So not bad
yeah.
in the least.
It's quite a bit of cash, and the winner. This is a high stakes game basically. And one thing we got to mention before we say anything more. Pandatank actually went for a 4-gate, and it looks like Shase went for a 3-gate robo. He's getting his first immortal out now, so there are some small variations here.
Yeah, we'll see a nice little expand by Pandatank as well. Actually, while we're talking, Shase put down 2 sentries before any other you did, so he was trying to be defensive. He is trying to go for a little bit of a timed push actually, where he goes for a 3-gate robo, gets out some immortals, and then I think now definitely in the case where there's an expansion up, pushes out as the expansion goes up. So basically skipping that early attack from the previous game, but coming in stronger actually in that second time push right when that expansion goes up.
And you know, I think Pandatank sort of wasted an opportunity. I'm not going to say it was a huge opportunity. Shase was probably ready for it anyway, but he went for a 4-gate. Shase went for a 3-gate robo. He had a little, tiny little gap he could have pushed in, and he didn't take it. And I do think aggression would have helped him out. He's once again expanding, and I think it's pretty much a replay of the previous game without the early pressure, without the early attacks.
Indeed, we might actually see expansion now by Shase here at his natural as well. Okay, so he is expanding. Both guys have also put down their Twilight Councils. Blink being researched for Pandatank. I'm wondering if Shase is going to put down... He's going to put down a Dark Shrine. The reason for this is he saw 4 gates on the other side, which means no early robo, which means no detection, which means just 1,000,000 kills for Dark Templars.
Beautiful call by yourself and by Shase, if I must say, because
strong call.
That's the Dark Shrine. I mean, having those Dark Templars in there, if you can get them in, if your opponent just isn't paying attention for 1 second on his ramp, it can be devastating. Especially if Shase can get a pylon quite close by.
Definitely. I've actually found a nice little trick. If you put a pylon at that 3rd expansion, just so it touches and you go back to the tower, you can actually spawn. You can actually warp right onto that ramp, so you can warp outside the second entrance and just start killing that without actually killing your own entrance, which is quite nice.
Yes. Okay.
Ooh, that actually... Okay, so the proxy pylon does get spotted, and we do see that the robo is going down for Pandatank. He's not going to get caught completely unaware, but that doesn't mean that DTs are useless. There's going to be another observer wall, whichever player loses the observer first, will determine if the DTs are useful or not. 5th gateway going down as well, so this definitely means that the observer comes out of the robo. Okay, so there we go, observer coming out, not an immortal first. Expansion going down for Shase as well. Let's look at the army sizes quickly.
Yeah, I was actually looking at the income as well. Shase is actually quite far behind with income. Pandatank saturated his mineral line quite quickly, quite effectively, I must add, because Shase sitting on about 800 income, Pandatank on just under 1,300. So Shase is going to have to play a bit of catch up now.
Most definitely, and you do see that Shase spotted the robotics bay and is putting down his robotics. The robotics facility and is putting down a robotics base, so he has now also become aware of the fact that his DT rush is not working as much because of the expansion. And here we have Pandatank actually pushing out now. He's got Blink already researched, he's got quite a few stalkers, he's got Zedded legs coming out as well, one of my favorite
if you can get
it's so great.
If you can get a couple of zealots, it's deadly. It's absolutely amazing. Especially, I mean, it works well against Blink Stalkers. It doesn't matter what the guys say. Those zealots can catch up really quickly with that speed boost. But army size here, Shase actually sitting on 83 and Pandatank on 95. Throwing down the proxy pylon now. Shase might be in a bit of trouble if he doesn't get a few more units out.
We're going to see what happens. It depends on what Pandatank does with these Blink Stalkers of his, because we actually do have 3 Immortals out on Shase's side. So if they just blink straight into the Immortals without focusing, that will be a lot of pain for Pandatank. If he blinks and focuses down early, okay, and we do see Shase not wanting to commit to this fight just yet, putting down some...
He's waiting for that Colossus, I think.
Some force fields. Yeah, most definitely. We actually have a forge going down for Pandatank as well, so trying to get the +1 upgrade, and here we go. He's got his force field up.
It's going to happen now, yes, and the Colossus will be just in time.
Oh, beautiful blink by the Stalkers as well, and they come down. They're not focusing down anything specific right now. Okay, there goes a few Stalkers, first Immortal, but here's the Colossus as well. This is actually fairly equal. Oh, but the Colossus gets beautifully blinked, has to retreat quite far.
Oh my goodness, but Shase pulls the Colossus back onto the cliff. What crazy micro. There's still 2 Immortals up, and Pandatank's army is getting decimated.
Oh, okay, so Pandatank actually completely got wrecked there. I think he just committed for that Colossus a little bit too much. He put it down very low. It lost all its shields, lost half its health. But unfortunately, he made his units walk through Immortals, and if you have Stalkers and that's Immortals just sitting next to you, it hurts a lot. Okay, so Pandatank blinking again, just trying to get the Colossus down. He does get it down, but he loses almost everything.
Yeah, pretty sad that we actually saw a bit of a macro fail from Pandatank during the fight as well. Nothing in production. He went up to 1,400 minerals, and that's not great.
Not the worst, but not the best. Actually, I think that might be a big fault on his part for not being able to push out again early. We got our first DT down for Shase as well, not trying to overcommit with the DTs because the observers could be out. Actually, I have no idea where that observer is.
Yeah, I do think that Pandatank's observer went down during that fight. I didn't see where, but it is gone.
That would be a brilliant situation for him if you can get some DTs in there right now. He's putting down 2 proxy pylons, so he is on the aggressive stance now, putting down 2 extra gates, so this is going to be a 6th gate. He's got a second Robots for as well, so Immortal coming out. He's got 1 Colossus, 2 Immortals already in his army, so he's going to push out without a lot of Colossus. He's just trying to take down those Stalkers, being aware that Blink was researched.
And here goes the DT in the base. Pandatank has absolutely nothing. He's only starting his observer now, chrono boosting it out. Let's see how many kills he can get on it.
This is going to hurt a lot. So 2 DTs, 1 out, another one coming out. Force wheels goes down, but that only means that he's leaving his whole expansion out up for the kill. That observer will finish in time.
Yep,
but
most definitely.
Not the best thing. Looking down at the income quickly, that has lost about 400 points down underneath Shase. So not the best situation for him. Nice little blink to get those down. Doesn't lose his robotics bay, but definitely not the best for him.
I don't think it was the best for Shase either. The damage he did, I think he took about 7 probes with those 2 Dark Templars together, so not too much damage, and Pandatank bouncing back pretty quickly, but he lost some mining time there. I think that's
he did lose quite a bit of mining time. We see a lot of Immortals now out for Shase. 1 Colossus, I think another one coming out.
Yeah, double
Colossus. Okay, so nice little Immortal. Shase, in the previous matches that we watched him play, actually went for a nice little mix against Zerg as well, and he is definitely someone who has become a fan of trying to change up what his army is composed of. You can see now putting out a lot of Immortals before his Colossi. He's still got a lot of Zealots and some Stalkers, putting some sentries down in the back. He's definitely trying to use everything he's got.
Yeah, the thing is, when you play, I wanted to let you finish. It's actually very interesting. I don't know nearly as much as you about the Protoss versus Protoss matchup, but it's really difficult for a player. Oh, my chair's making so much noise here. For a player to counter an army that's as widely spread as this. Immortals, Colossus, lots of sentries out there, and those Zealots with the charge legs. It's really difficult.
Here we go. We're going to see it now in action. The Colossus walking over the force fields. Panatank's got his own Colossi and some Stalkers, but they're not even trying to be blinked out. Blinking now away at the end. Colossus going down a little bit, and I'm fairly sure Shase is going to take this quite easy. We didn't mention the fact that there was a further expansion going up for Pandatank because we were talking a little bit too much, maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
Which meant that he was a little bit down in production.
No, well, that was a pretty clean win for Shase there in the end. It looks like Shase gaining a bit of confidence, and Pandatank's confidence maybe dwindling.